Okay, back again.
I believe how often jokes are taken as proof that I don't know what I'm talking about or that I'm not a real gamer, even when those jokes rely on a deep knowledge of the source material. So as a result, I intentionally leave that more humorous side of my personality out of my current video presentations.
You really shouldn't, though. That's the thing. You really shouldn't leave that out. You know, this is one of the few videos I've seen you in where you're talking off the cuff. I think you did that when you were talking to, was it Colbert? I think it was Colbert. As well. And I gotta say, Anita, if you presented your personality in your videos, despite what people will say about it, you would get a lot more fans. Hell, I might even decide to be your fan if you were to do that. Just because you'd be entertaining at least, even if you were still wrong. I like humor. I like humor even when I don't fully agree with it. You would make your videos a lot more entertaining. Yes, you would have a large number of morons in the comments section, assuming you open the comments like you should. Who don't get it, who think you're just being ignorant. But again, that's just one of the things that is true about the internet. Ignorance, stupidity, douchebaggery, they all abound on the internet. You'll find them everywhere. They're almost unescapable, okay? You can go to any site and you'll find about a dozen people who are unbelievably stupid. That's what you're really talking about here. You're not talking about your average viewer. A lot of people are just stupid, and you shouldn't let those stupid people get to you. You shouldn't let them prevent you from saying what you want to say.
Rarely feel comfortable speaking spontaneously in public spaces. I'm intentional and careful about the media interviews I do. I decline most invitations to be on podcasts or web shows. I carefully consider the wording of every tweet to make sure it is clear and can't be misconstrued. Over the last several years, I've become hyper-vigilant. My life, my words, and my actions are placed under a magnifying glass.
I have a lot of empathy for you in that regard. I understand that must be stressful. But again, I would encourage you, don't care, okay? You just have to stop caring about it. And here's the important thing. Now, you're not going to like this because you probably dislike The Amazing Atheist. But that is one of the reasons I think that he is successful. Is that he doesn't give a shit. He just doesn't care. People can post sex videos about him. People can post all sorts of nasty things about him. People on your side have lambasted him just a lot, in so many different ways. And he just doesn't care. At least he doesn't seem to. Because he still keeps going and he talks off the cuff. So you don't let people do that kind of crap. Let people misinterpret your videos. Let them be stupid. Let me clue you into something here if you're not already aware of it, Anita. The people who are going to purposely misconstrue you are going to do it whether or not you are precise in what you say. It just doesn't matter. These people are not out for a charitable interpretation of your work. They want to be uncharitable because they already are biased against you, because they don't like you. Because for them, this is not about a debate. This is about winning. And as you put it in the beginning of your video, it's about taking down the big bad villain, or villainous in this case. The only thing you can do is not to play their game, not to care what they think of you. And I think that that's a large source of your pain, is that you care too much about this. You care too much about what people think. Um, you censor your comments because people are mean to you. You make videos like this because people are mean to you. You use the fact that people are cruel to you on the internet as a sort of talking point. And it's true that people are cruel to you. But it loses you support, and it makes you less likable as a content creator to do the kind of things you're doing to avoid these people. You just need to take them on head on. Report the threats and the direct harassment to the FBI, if you will. I certainly would. I've done it before. I take threats very seriously, even if I don't think there's a chance in hell that they'll come to fruition, because out of principle, I think that people who attempt to stifle free speech through violence, threats of violence, or intimidation should be punished. I have no problem with people disagreeing with me. I have no problem with people, arguing with me. But if somebody threatens me to try to silence me, well, that's crossing a line. And I think that you would do well to embrace a similar tactic. Now, you already report these people, and it's good on you for that. But for the people that aren't outright harassing you, who are just being insulting, and who are, maybe disagreeing with you in a gruff, kind of mean manner, maybe you should just let them say what they want to say, on your comments section. Ignore most of the bad comments. Look for the gems. Look for the people who actually have something to say. It's worth considering. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there. By doing what you're doing, you're sacrificing one of the greatest joys of being a YouTuber, which is to have, interactions with fans and to see that your work is appreciated. I intend, for example, to do response videos to all of your tropes versus women. As best I can. I'm not much of a gamer, as I said. I play some games, but I'm not a big-time gamer. Mostly old games. I'm digressing like crazy, so let me get back to your video.
Every day I see my words scrutinized, twisted, and distorted by thousands of men hell-bent on destroying and silencing me. What I couldn't say is I'm a human being. I don't get to publicly express sadness or rage or exhaustion or anxiety or depression. I can't say that sometimes the harassment really gets to me, or conversely that the harassment has become so normal that sometimes I don't feel anything at all. The death threats come through on my social media and it's just become a routine. Screen cap, forward to the FBI, block, and move on. I don't get to express feelings of fear or how tiring it is to be constantly vigilant of my physical and digital surroundings. How I don't go to certain events because I don't feel safe. Or how I sit in the more secluded areas of coffee shops and restaurants so the least amount of people can recognize me or to see me. I don't show how embarrassed I am when I have to ask the person who recognized me in my...
It's really sad that you have to put up with all of that. And, if I met you in person and you told me this, I would probably, hug you and, apologize for all the shit you're going through. It's really sad that some people can't play fair. Now, I want you to know that I respect your humanity. I definitely see you as a human, and that's a large part of why I'm making this video, is I feel that there's a tendency on the internet to dehumanize people, to make them out to be, well, at least one's opponents, to be less than human. And I find that very sad for humanity as a whole. I'm terribly sorry that you have to go through that, and it's really unfortunate. You have my sympathy.
Local grocery store to please not mention the location where they met me. Somehow we fooled ourselves into thinking that by expressing human emotions, it somehow means that the harassers have won. This false belief is largely because in our society, women are not allowed to express feelings without being characterized as hysterical, erratic, bitchy, highly emotional, or overly sensitive. Our expressions of insecurity, doubt, anger, or sadness are all policed and often used against us. But by denying ourselves the space to feel and to share those feelings, we're just perpetuating this notion that we should all suffer alone, that we should all just toughen up and grow thicker skin, which we shouldn't have to do. What I couldn't say is, I don't even want to be saying any of this, largely because I still feel fear that expressing human emotions publicly will make me seem insecure. The truth is that women who persevere and retain some measure of their humanity are not expressing weakness, they're demonstrating courage. In all the different, messy, honest ways that we respond to harassment, we actually demonstrate how much humanity we all still have in the face of such cruelty and injustice. Thank you.
Well, I have to say that was a very good speech you gave. What I would suggest is, as I've said throughout the video, say what you couldn't say. Okay? Say it. Show your emotions. Speak from the heart. The more real you are, the more people will like you. I'll admit that when I watched your feminist frequency videos, I mostly, maybe I thought of you as a human too, but I mostly just, when you spoke in that monotone sort of voice, you didn't make jokes and all that. It's hard to like somebody like that. It's hard to really come to appreciate the sorts of things you're saying. So, don't be fake. Do not be fake. Be yourself and make the videos that you really want to make. And make more of them. I would be thrilled to see some of your videos. Some of your newer ideas and commentary. Show the strength that you talk about in here. Quit being afraid of these people. Most of the people who threaten you are absolutely full of shit. Completely and totally full of shit. None of them are going to act on it, ever. They think they can. Or at least they're full of bluff, or bluster is what they're full of, They're just doing it to silence you, and if you let yourself be silenced, you're just giving them what they want. That fear, I would say, Anita, is your biggest enemy. It's not the men or the MRAs or any of the haters that are your enemies. It's you. It's your own fear that holds you back. You could be a lot better if you weren't so frightened of these people. I'm not saying let them get your address. I'm not saying any of that, because look at me. I'm not even showing my face or giving out my real name, in part because of what's going on. But now that you're out there, now that you have supporters, you should be yourself. You should get over that fear. And if anyone does try anything, well, you can deal with that, I suppose. I have to end now. I'm already at the 15-minute mark, so